The Łowiczu ethnographic park in Maurzyce is located in the Zduny commune, 7 kilometers from Łowiczu, near the Warsaw-Poznań national route. It has a regional character and shows traditional architecture from the areas of the former Duchy of Łowicz, modern Łowicz and Skierniewice counties. There are 42 objects of small and large architecture, mainly from the 19th and early 20th centuries, recreating two spatial arrangements of the Łowicz village. The oval village and the linear village, with buildings on one side of a road. Starting the walk along the street, we can look inside a school from the interwar period. A country cottage adapted for public utility building has 2 rooms. In the first one, the interior of the classroom has been recreated. Original equipment coming from the school in Łaźniki and consisting of a desk, map stands, benches with raised desktops and holes for inkwells as presented. The second room is arranged as a teacher's apartment. It's equipped with furniture, toiletries and other details from the era. Sometimes calligraphy lessons are held at the school. Opposite the school there is a granary with an arcade serving as a forge. Inside, one might see tools used by blacksmiths, hammers, lapels, vices, a bellows with a hearth and an anvil, on which horseshoes were full, fittings for peasant vehicles and other metal products needed in every form, like nails. Walking along the village, we look into a cottage from Złaków Borowy with decorative doors and shutters. Its outer walls are painted blue and decorated with white geometric floral patterns, so-called fiori. The traditional way of furniture layout is shown in the festive room. To the left of the entrance there is a sideboard, a long bench under the windows, a table at the back, a home altar with rich decorations, a painted dowry chest and a bed. On the opposite side of the hall, a working room was reconstructed, in which the family's daily life went on. Meals were prepared and eaten, and various household works were performed. In the autumn and winter period, a weaving workshop was put in the room, on which fabrics for clothing and bedding were made. Another object is a cottage from the turn of the 19th and 20th centuries. Its interior has layout typical for Łowicz houses. There are 2 rooms on the sides of the central hall. In one of them there is a house equipment of the folk art embroiderer, singer and poet Bronisława Skwarna from Chośna, who died in 2014. Attention is drawn to an altar with a plaster statue of Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception and devotional items and decorations on it. In the cottage from Chlebów, interiors from the 1970s were reconstructed. The equipment of this building comes entirely from the farm in Rząszno village. Among the hundreds of items donated to the museum, there were, among others, paintings, furniture, dishes, and kitchen utensils and agricultural tools. In the village of the linear type, a layout was reconstructed in which residential and farm buildings were placed on one side of a road. On the other side, there were orchards and farmland. Another homestead represents a large-scale farm. It consists of a cottage and a large 2 earthen floors barn, an exhibition of agricultural tools, and a stone and brick cowshed which presents, among others, a collection of devices for plant protection and country equipment for a carpentry workshop. In a hall and chambers of the cottage, wooden dishes for storing and preparing foods are presented. The rooms were arranged to show the changes that took place in their interior from the end of the 19th century to the interwar period. Room on the right is richly decorated with paper art, including cutouts, and has a traditional arrangement of furniture and a home altar. The second one includes furniture and everyday items, factory and handmade by municipal craftsmen, like wardrobe with a mirror or an iron. An interesting exhibit is also a crystal radio receiver with headphones. From the linear village we go to the oval one. We get to the oldest monuments transferred to the open-air museum, constituting a sacred complex. It includes a wooden church and a belfry from the second half of the 18th century, transferred from the parish of St. Martin in Wysokienice. The late Baroque furnishings of the church are The side altars dedicated to St. Martin and St. Anne, the main altar, the pulpit, the baptismal bowl, and the passion groups on the roof beam. The painted ceiling draws attention. On the blue background in the nave there are images of saints Peter and Paul. In the presbytery, the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary and the prayer of Jesus in Gethsemane. Occasionally, religious ceremonies are held in the church. Next to the church, there is a presbytery from the turn of the 19th and 20th centuries. Transferred from the village of Pszczonów, the building was immortalized in a film adaptation of Władysław Reymond's novel The Peasants, directed by Jan Rybkowski. Inside we can see, among others, parish office room. Exhibitions and educational activities are also held in the presbytery. Near the church there is a farm surrounded by a wicker fence with a cottage dating back to 1841, a barn, a wooden cowshed and a granary with the so-called lynxes, with the remnants of the upper logs forming the arcade. In the cottage, tools for processing flax and the production of homespun fabrics, which is what Łowicz is famous for, are displayed. We can see here, among other things, tongs and brushes for obtaining flax fibers, thread spinning wheels, tools for making a warp, and a weaving workshop. In the yard, in front of the barn, there is a horse treadmill used to power devices. Looking inside the wooden barn, we can see partitions for pets and mangers for cattle and horses. Peasant homesteads in the oval village have been placed around the village square. An interesting complex due to its architecture is a homestead formed in a quadrilateral shape, so-called circular farm. Entering its yard, we can look at the buildings from inside: a cottage, stone cow sheds, carriage house, granary, and entrance gates. Agricultural tools are displayed in the sheds. The last owner of the cottage was Justyna Gregory, an excellent paper cutout artist. The festive interior was arranged to reflect the atmosphere of the place where one might commune with the folk art. One might see the forms of traditional paper cutouts: rectangular, kodra, round, gwiazda, and ribbons, tasiemka, spiders, decorations which hung underneath the ceiling, and bouquets of paper and wood flowers. There is a working room on the opposite side of the hall. The cottage has interesting architectural details, decorative shutters and doors. The habitat is complemented by a wooden barn located at some distance from the homestead, on poles supporting its roof. Inside the barn, peasant vehicles and agricultural machines are exhibited. Leaving the oval village, we can see a 19th century post windmill. Its name comes from the post on which the rotating structure of the building stands. In front of the windmill there are huge millstones that were used to grind the grain into flour. At the exit from the open-air museum there is a rural stone and brick fire station from 1913 where historic fire vehicles and their equipment are displayed. A visit to the Łowicz Ethnographic Park in Maurzyce offers the possibility of a nostalgic journey to the non-existent world of the former Łowicz village, acquiring knowledge, active recreation, and contact with nature. In the open-air museum lessons, guided tours, traditional handicraft, workshops, and cyclical events take place. The unique atmosphere of this place and good transport links encourage you to visit it.